Hello and welcome back to another thrilling episode of the Otakuology podcast. I am your host, Otaku Mike. With me, as always, is Jin. He's got the fluff and the puff, Graves. And today we're talking about the Boroughs, episode 5, Another Beautiful Day.
It's another beautiful day in the neighborhood.
I know, right?
So this one I think is a little different from how our last one leaves
A
off.
little different.
Yeah, because how part of our other ones, we went back exactly where we left off.
We left off exactly where we left off in the last one.
Did we?
Yeah. So it starts off with our trio of Sam, Wally, and Judy going down the hole through the oven.
Oh, you're right,
Yeah.
because they were looking down the oven.
Yeah.
I was thinking the last part of the last one, and it may be because of how we reviewed it, was Art passing out in the bathroom.
Okay.
That's what I thought the last scene was.
No.
I was like, we ended a little different.
I have to say, I feel like talking about this feels a little different now since we know that it's canceled.
Nah, see, this is what I think. I think, yeah, they canceled it, but Netflix didn't cancel it. The Duffers technically canceled it, and if there is enough motion on it, that I think it will get at least a season 2.
Cross our fingers. Cross our fingers.
Cross our fingers and our toes.
What? I can't do that.
Put a finger up your nose. I don't know. Coming up with random shit.
Yesterday,
but
I watched a man get a prostate exam by a robot.
Ooh, I don't know if I want that. I mean, most doctors already have cold hands.
With peanut butter.
With peanut butter? What the fuck? That's weird.
I went and saw Jackass yesterday.
Oh, was it a Mr. Handy?
No.
That would make it a lot better. We ended up seeing over the weekend the new Toy Story.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was okay, but I was busting jokes on my son the whole time because it was like they were talking about the main idea of it is kids like with a leap pad or whatever, and like zombieing out, like doom scrolling almost. And I was like, every time one of the kids popped up where they were sitting there on their leapfrog or whatever thingy, kind of like scrolling, I was like, oh my god, they're like zombies. I said, that's what you look like. And so he was like, I need you to stop saying that. And I think it got under his skin enough. Like, we made it through half of the movie, and he goes, can we leave yet?
Oh, he wanted to leave? Really?
Yeah, he wanted to leave, so I think I may have gotten under his skin. I don't know. Because he had eaten his candy and stuff. He's like, I'm ready to go.
Oh, man.
Like, thanks for taking me, Dad, but I'm ready to go. I was like, what? We didn't even finish yet. But circling back around to good movies and good shows. So the Boroughs.
Yeah.
So we and I guess we'll kind of do this how we usually do the stuff for Stranger Things. Like, we'll stick with an A or B and all that.
Okay.
So A, we had this whole thing where Sam, Wally, and Judy are all following the creature down into
the tunnels.
I want to call it the mines, but it's like they're tunnels. It's kind of like a sewage system.
The cul-de-sac tunnel.
Cul-de-sac tunnel. Which, man, I'd really love to know if that's really underneath the thing or not. Like, underneath those things, not through the oven per se, but if that is like a tunnel system.
The set?
Yeah, if that's really like they really used tunnels that were underneath the things.
I'm gonna say it's a completely different set.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we have where I'm going to use the creature's name in this too because we do kind of know who he is at this point. Because he gets name dropped a couple times, and he got name dropped at the end of the last one. But as Scar is kind of running through the tunnels, they're kind of following the little blue blood trails that
Mm-hmm.
he's leaving behind, and he does almost get all the way back to this one spot that the creatures are making noises and stuff at, which we assumed is probably where they're caged at, which is underneath like the main building.
Yeah.
So they had to have traveled a pretty fucking long way
And
to.
Wally finds him. Well, they all find him. And Wally wants to study him.
Yeah, I can save him and all
Yeah.
this other
He's
stuff.
like,
And
oh, I want to study him. Let's do this. And they're like, study him? What do you mean we're going to study him? No, we're not going to study him.
yeah, and he goes, no, I can save him. And you kind of see where it does seem like he's talked Sam into it, but then right after he gets Sam set, like there, you hear a gunshot, and it is almost like a jump moment
Yeah.
because it happens so fast. And Judy shoots this thing in the head and kills it, which he's like, Judy, why did you do that? And she goes, well, the thing was suffering.
I mean, she has a
Um,
point.
Now, first question: do you think it was really because it was suffering, or do you think she wanted to get that little slight revenge for Jack?
Oh, it was all because of Jack. It was
That's
all
what I,
because of
that's what
Jack.
I thought too.
She just made that up that it was suffering. It wasn't actually suffering.
Yeah. Which, mind you, too, this is also the spot that we learn. Like Sam goes, "Oh, there's scars that are new," and Wally's looking and he goes, "None of these scars on its face are new because it looks like it's got these big claw marks across its
Yeah.
face." And that's when we start hearing the noises that there's the other ones that are there.
Mm-hmm. Which we never really see the other ones till like the end of the series.
Yeah,
We only
yeah.
see the
You don't see
one.
them till like the end.
Yeah.
Besides the very first one that you see, that's about it. We get to see one later on, like crawling in a tube. We get to see, but we never see all of them together.
Not until
Um,
the end.
yeah. So we get to see like that very first one that actually is in like episode one, and we get to see the one in the tube. And other than that, we don't see any of them again until that very last one where there's multiple ones
Yeah.
together. But they hear the noises and they take off uh, down a direction which we assume they were headed back towards the cul-de-sac. And later on, I would say we find out that they actually get lost.
Yeah, they go into like the cave system that is down there. That's what they go
Yeah.
in. Which I have to say, I love the little scene before they go down into the hole where Wally's trying to prepare and grab stuff and put it in like his like tote bag.
Yeah.
It just made me laugh.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get this. I don't know." And he's just like, "I'm gonna get this big ass knife."
Yeah. Well, and one of my favorite parts is when they're talking about Ethel, and
Yeah.
he goes, "Well, how many bullets does your gun have left?" And she goes, "Oh, Ethel has 3 bullets left." He goes, "You named your gun?" And she goes, "Yeah, I've had this forever. People threatened my life because I was a news reporter and all this." And she goes, "I didn't want my kids to know that there was a gun in the house, so they just called it Ethel." And of course, then we get a little history. It's called Ethel. Ethel.
I forget what her name was, but she
I can't remember the last one, but she was the first black news reporter, which
yeah.
was a really cool thing that kind of got rolled in here for that, especially like in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so we get kind of that cool little snippet that yes, Judy has this other stuff, and other people have little tie-ins for this with the stuff as they're going to find them. But we kind of like leave this team for a little while until later on when they join up with our B section, which our B section I'm going to say is going to be art because they actually find art first before anything else happens.
Yeah. Do you want to go back to the beginning where Art is?
yeah. So Art, at the end of the last episode, passed out in the bathroom.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. And so then he woke up and he is in a, which it throws me off on this. He is in actually like a hospital bed and gown, on monitors and all this other stuff. Um, and the thing that sticks out the most is it's all like bright pink.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing that sticks out to me so much about it, because usually you have like a teal blue or white. This is bright pink,
Yeah.
like bright pink. I kind of want to know if like the actual place that the Boroughs is at actually like that's one of their actual sheets and stuff. Like they do have pink sheets. Um, or did they just say, "Hey, we need a bed," and maybe they have them gender wise? I don't know. And they just had the pink sheets. I don't know.
Yeah. And we see I think her name was Annabella?
Yeah, because one time when
Blaine's
it pops,
wife.
yeah, one time when it pops up, it looks like Annabella
Yeah,
Leas or
Annabelle
whatever. Like it
Leas.
looked like it was a huge ass fucking name.
Yeah.
But yeah, Anna. Um, we see Anna sitting there, and she starts talking to Art about, you know, uh, why do you feel like you're sick? You must have had too much. I always called it Uncle Ruckus.
Uncle
That is
Uncle
not
Uncle
right.
Nestor, whatever it was.
Uncle Nestor's or whatever. Yeah. And he's like, yeah. He goes, just an old man that's had one too many drinks. Things like that. Ended up on my ass,
Yeah,
shit like
and
that.
she starts saying like, the Burrows has a lot of secrets and stuff to hide, and I saw some pretty crazy things while we were in the bar. Like you turned from like black hair to like salt and pepper gray. Like
Black hair to yeah to
you
gray.
aged right before my eyes. Like, how did you do it? What did you do? Tell me what you did. And she's like, I need to know. I need to know. She becomes like very fanatical, I would say, like very like
Yeah,
crazed.
like she's very possessed of this
Yeah.
information.
She wants to know what it is, which I have a question for you later on when we get to a certain part. And I love this part right here where Art plays dumb. He plays old and dumb really good.
Yeah, he
Old, dumb,
does.
and oblivious. Yeah.
What do you mean? I just drank too much.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm old.
Yeah.
Which I have to say, there's one thing, and I understood his reference, and it throws me off that she didn't understand it, especially after supposedly living in the Boroughs for a good chunk of time. I'm going to leave it at that to
Decades.
not spoil anything. I'm just going to leave it
Sorry.
at a good chunk of
Sorry.
time. Uh, which it'll get brought up here in a second. So, I mean, it's not that bad. But he says, I left my robot ears at home. I can't understand you. You're going to have to speak up a little bit. And she's like, well, what is that? And he's like, that's what I call my hearing aids. And I was like, how did she not know that's what people call those?
I don't know. Maybe she's just so out of touch.
I don't know. It threw me off because you would think that somebody else would have used that before.
Maybe. I guess with like the people they hang around with in the boroughs, like what, like 80% of them got to have hearing aids or something, right?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, it throws me off that she didn't
Unless
know.
she doesn't like hang around with like the old folk.
Well, she's got to know that that's what else hearing aids are called because she goes to all the damn funerals.
No, forgot about
I
that.
mean, you got to think that somebody has had a problem, been like, I can't understand what you're saying, or can you turn my hearing aid up? I
Yeah.
mean, there's plenty of that shit.
Yeah.
Um, but we see where Art gets in his jacket. He pulls out his little handkerchief thing that he had, which I think it's really a dish rag.
I think so.
He pulls out this little dish rag that he's had, and he pulls out the pit, and he just wants to make sure that he still has it. Folds it back up, and he gets his clothes on, And then the next scene we kind of see with that is him kind of heading out to the desert to where the cave
Yeah.
was. And he gets out to where the cave is, and he's looking, and as he kind of enters it, he's sitting there and he looks at it, and he starts, no, 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 we don't know if the peach that he pulled from it the last episode, or I guess 2 episodes ago, at the end, is what killed the tree,
Yeah,
or what else could have happened that the tree just up and died.
that's one thing I was kind of confused about.
Yeah,
Was like, how did the tree die? And like, so like when he gets there, like Anna shows up and she's like, "Oh, I thought you found like something new." So obviously, like they knew the tree was there this whole time,
yeah.
is what I'm guessing. But like, did they pick the fruit from the tree or?
I don't think it bore fruit yet.
Okay.
I don't think it bore fruit. I think that's why. Now, last episode, I had an idea that maybe the head security guard guy may have been like helping with it.
Oh, like sneaking
Um,
food and stuff.
well, no, that he was trying to see if he could get like an alternate way of getting stuff
Ah.
of the juice. Now I'm going to take that back, because really what I think is the kids, the Scar and the other ones, were probably trying to do this, and this is what I'm thinking, right? Because of later on when we find out about Mother,
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking that them almost being like this weird alien cryptid race knew that there was something that they could kind of do, and it was having this tree in a specific area, probably that tapped into copper minerals, which we'll bring that back up in a second, and having quartz, and they all kind of like Steven Universe activated the stuff in this tree together that would probably have healed Mother back to, instead of looking like an old lady, looking like one of them.
Interesting. Because they never really go into like full explanation, like what the tree is there for.
Right, right.
Like that's one of the big like missing threads that never gets explained.
Yeah. It's kind of like the blood and some of the other stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's there, but we don't really know too much about it to say otherwise. Um, but yeah, anyway, we have where Anna basically comes in and she tells him, I need you to tell me what's up with this stuff. And if you don't tell me kind of what I want to
I'm gonna
know,
kill you.
I'll kill it. I'll kill you.
Yeah.
And she says something that's a little off-putting when she's explaining that about this mine. She said, "Oh, I know the original owners, and that this mine, used to be kind of a big thing where used to be a town out there, which we kind of know that because of like where Ard's growing the mushrooms.
Yeah.
And some of the other places that he's found, there are things out there that people probably move their families out there.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially, there was a big boom, and a lot of people came in to get copper because they found copper veins.
And then the
And
copper
they
like dried up after a while.
they kind of depleted them, yeah. Which that's why I referred to maybe this tree is touching a copper vein as well. And that's between a mixture of the quartz and the copper, probably what made something with this tree grow. I mean, there's probably some other aspect of mysticism to it, but maybe that's what this peach grew for, was from the children, the monsters, basically like doing stuff to this tree to cultivate that peach.
Yeah.
Anyway, she said basically like a lot of things went down with that, and come to find out that a deal was struck that a lot of people wanted this to happen, and it was very fast, and nobody had a pen, so they signed it in pencil. And then the next day, to make it look official, they did trace over the lead in ink so that it would be completely official and look great on this thing, for the owners to basically own this entire property and everything. Which, come to find out, is Anna and Blaine.
Which is
They
weird
were
because
the
I thought women weren't allowed to own property.
well, and it may not have been her. It may have been Blaine.
Yeah.
Um, no. So here's a weird thing, and it's a big funny thing in society, and of course, I'm going to touch on some things that may upset some people. Um, a lot of things that we think of with like big uber feminists nowadays that women really didn't have anything with that. And yes, I would somewhat agree that maybe a woman's name, wasn't always directly on certain stuff. It was a male relative. Um, some women went by pen names, or they were so rich that it didn't matter,
Yeah.
which I would say in this case is probably what happened with her. If her name is on the thing, that she probably owned it, and nobody was able
Like tell
to
otherwise.
tell otherwise. The other thing is that while yes, there was a lot of things where like women couldn't put their names on stuff, women were still the people that controlled the money in the family.
Well, I mean, like women couldn't even like I think like open up their own bank accounts until like what like the 70s
Well, and
or even own their own
most of,
homes.
most of that was because you actually had a bank account under your family.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you had a bank account under your family, so it would be like if I had to set up the account and you are the wife, you would still be able to use all the money and access everything because technically you're the one that does everything with the money. Uh, I would just be the one that had my name on the account because I was like the head of the house, so to speak. Um, so that's really how part of that worked out in the 60s and 50s and stuff. Who knew we were getting a history
I
lesson
know,
today,
right?
though?
And now all their rights are being taken away.
Yeah. So, but I would say that based off of where this is in Arizona and whatnot, I don't think it really mattered. And because of the time zone that they talk about with this, that I don't think it hits that 40s, 50s, 60 cap where there was the thing where like a woman couldn't really necessarily have her name on anything, at least not out in the open.
Yeah.
Um, so I could definitely see her and Blaine being able to sign this thing. If not her, then both of them being able to sign it kind of sort of together, showing that they did own the property,
Yeah.
and it going from there. Now, what I really want to know, and we'll never get this, I know we'll never get this, is what and how they purchased it.
Oh. Yeah.
Because for this amount of land that they have, either her or Blaine had to have already come from some money,
True, which they never
or
go into detail about that.
had something. I'm sure they were able to get it real cheap, but what was the cost that they got this entire area for?
Yeah.
So um but we have too in this instant of her telling them, Art does say, "How old are you?" And we get this really maniacal, and I love the music in this. It goes very well with it. We have it where it kind of goes like this, like kind of alluring beat with how Anna is kind of very beautiful, things
Mm-hmm.
like that, and whatnot. And we instantly gets this little tweak where it starts turning into this more like horror,
Oh
demented
yeah.
thriller music
I love it.
as she turns around and says, darling, you really shouldn't ask a lady her age. And she has
The
these,
yellow eyes.
yeah, she has like eyes where like the iris and everything looks black. And it looks like she's got like little suns in
Yeah.
her eyes
That
where the pupils
is
are.
a very cool like reveal. So I don't remember if
Yeah,
they revealed that yet or not, if I remember correctly.
not yet. This is the first
But
appearance.
like she like kind of goes after Art. I think it is like because she like eats the seed for the peach.
Well, yeah. Well, it didn't happen
Yeah.
yet. But this is the part where I completely was like, oh my God, is this going to turn into a vampire show? Like, how are they out in the sun?
I
Do
mean,
they have really good like skincare? Like
I mean, they kind of look like vampires a little bit.
yeah, yeah. But I was like, do they have like SPF 10,000? Like how are they able to go out in the sun? You know, because like I could see there being some argument of like, yeah, they're not in the sun that much,
Hmm.
which is true. Most of the time we see Blaine more so. We see Blaine inside. The only time, honestly, that I feel like we ever see Blaine outside is if it's at nighttime or this little scene that we haven't touched on yet, where he's driving in his little car.
Oh, Blaine's morning routine.
Yeah, yeah. Where he gets in his little car though to drive. Other than that, we've never really seen Blaine out in the sun.
No, no, we haven't.
Like so that would be my one argument is yes, I feel like they could be vampires with some kind of genetic thing protecting them or really strong sunblock, and that they're able to do that or be next to windows, things like that.
Yeah. But she
Uh,
actually eats the peach seed.
yeah, he pulls out the peach seed.
She's like, "Oh my god, it's mine!"
Yeah,
Which the scene where she eats it and she starts like kneels over and collapses and starts
where she
writhing.
vomits up the black.
Yeah, writhing in pain, starts
Yeah,
throwing up was so disgusting.
yeah.
Like it was so uncomfortable to watch. Like there was
So
this scene and then later
so
on was a scene I couldn't
this
stand.
this is what I want to touch on for
Okay.
you, right? So, and this is something that I really thought about. So, if the monsters, quote unquote, were growing a peach for Mother to get better to turn back into a monster, do you think the peach seed still had power? And when she ate it, it automatically was like, you know what? You're supposed to be a human being. That's what your biology says. But you have this monster stuff inside of you. And the black that she was throwing up was the old essence that she had before.
That's what I kind of thought a little bit. I didn't really have anything
Like,
about like
like for everybody listening, this is what I want to allude it to. And Michael, 100% Michael know that I hit the nail on the head when I say this. It reminds me of the part in Spirited Away where Chihiro throws that little weird half of a thing into No Face's mouth when he's the big blob froggy guy. You know what I'm talking about?
no.
And she after he's eating all this stuff and she throws it in there and he starts chasing her around the bathhouse and just continuously vomiting stuff up.
I've never watched Spirited Away.
End of show right here. We'll talk to you guys later. We'll be back with an episode of Spirited Away just for you guys. No, we'll have to add that to our list now that I know that. Yeah, there's this little thing. It's like a little like mollusk pellet seed thing. She gives it to No Face after because he was kind of like a ghost. I mean, you know what he looks like, right?
Yeah.
Where and he's skinny and he's got that white mask. Well, he ends up like eating a frog guy. He ends up doing all this other stuff. And he goes from being like that little kind of like silhouette of a ghost with the mask into being like Blob from the X-Men if he was
Okay.
kind of like Froggy. And after she gets him to eat this thing, all the food and stuff that was supposedly the greed and gluttony and all these other things that were built up inside of him, he just continuously starts throwing everything up, which is kind of a blackish gray goop. And that to me is what this kind of reminds me of, is that she ate the seed thingy and all of the evil stuff in her starts getting pushed out.
Yeah.
Evil, quote
That's what it
unquote.
seemed like. It seemed like whatever power the seed still had or whatever, like it seemed like to like reject whatever she had in her body.
Yeah, yeah.
Is what it seemed like. Um and like
And I think it was trying to make her more human.
more human or more monstrous.
I think it was trying to make her more human.
She doesn't look human by the end of this episode.
No, she
She
doesn't.
doesn't
I
look
mean,
human at all.
she looks fucked up. She looks fucked up, and I mean, she still has the glowy eyes. But I think the seed was trying to return her back to her original self.
Oh, and like age her up and shit.
Yeah, so it would have turned her back fully into a human, and that's why she threw up.
Interesting, interesting. I didn't pick up
And
on
and
that.
I think that's kind of why here in a second after she gets shot, the reason her shot won't heal.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, so she eats that, she throws up, everything else goes from there. And this is where we were talking about earlier, where Judy, Wally, and Sam all come out into the cave, and Judy actually shoots her in the shoulder to release Art
yeah.
so that they can all get the fuck out
The
of there.
whole part where Art was running away, or not really running away, but like in the darkness, like with the little light, was so
Yeah.
well shot. Like
Oh yeah.
it was,
And her walking
yeah.
after
You
him.
could see her in like in the distance behind him. Like
Yeah.
the light would flicker, and you would see like her face or something. Like it
Yeah.
was so well shot. Like it was such an intense scene for a scene that was not that long.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I really thought Art was gonna like kick the bucket.
Oh, most def. The first time,
Yeah,
most def.
yeah, yeah. Because it did not go well for Art. Because he gets attacked, but luckily he gets saved by the gang, uh, and
3 members of the Scooby
the
Gang.
Scooby Gang, and she gets shot. Anna gets shot, which it's weird. She like just leaves and like just walks off at this point. Like maybe she's like
Yeah.
which I don't know if she would be outmatched or not in this fight.
I think she knew she was outmatched only because of what was going on with the seed.
Okay.
Because you got to think about it too. Like, uh, jumping forward, because I also want to talk about this one thing. When the gang leaves
Yeah.
and she ends up making back, where we have, like, it's kind of like later on in the day, Blaine is sitting there looking at like designs for things or whatever on their bed, um, in a robe and whatnot. And he hears her coming and he's like, "Oh, honey, how was your day? How did things go?" And she kind of drags herself around the wall and she looks like she's been through the fucking
Yeah.
ringer.
No, she has.
She's dirty. She's got blood coming out of her mouth. Hair's a mess. Clothes are fucked up. And he ends up getting a hold of her because she almost just passes out in his
Yeah.
arms. And as he's kind of like checking her, he pulls part of her shirt back to see where that bullet hole was. And she's obviously bleeding. Now, this is what I think is that part of the stuff with them having how that stuff is. I think she should have almost instantly healed,
But she didn't.
but she didn't. And I think that's where this weird thing comes in where Blaine's like, "Oh, I'll save you no matter what. Let me get you into the mother juice
The
bath."
weird tub of goo that they have in the middle of their apartment or their house,
Yes.
which I was like,
Yes.
ugh, ugh. Like when they were,
We'll circle back to that. So one thing I want to touch on with this, and then I'll be able to touch on another part when we go over to Paz and
Renee.
Renee. Um, is that we get up in the morning with Blaine and he's making like a smoothie or something like that, or an icy, it almost looks like. And he has this big thing, it looks like orange honey.
Yeah.
Um he has this big bottle that looks like one of those like do it yourself soda bottles, kind of sort of like you buy the CO2 and you make your own soda at home. It looks like one of those big bottles, and he pours the entire thing into this, and you can tell as he's going to work and all this other stuff, he's drinking the juice.
Yeah. Yeah.
um that is the same stuff that is supposed to be in this bathtub that we also see later on and know a little more about. But he brings her over and puts her in there, and it's supposed to heal her up. And he says just drink, which I do have to say we didn't see any bubbles to indicate that she was drinking
No, there
anything.
were no
So
bubbles.
I was a little upset by that. I would have liked the bit to kind of like really show that, like her.
And just like when she got in it, like just the thickness of like this liquid that they get into, like
Oh yeah, it looks like grainy honey.
yeah.
But so here's my question on this, right?
Okay.
When she threw up, it was black. So I wonder if the stuff loses its power. And if the reason why half of the shit in the tub is also dark.
Because it's losing its power?
Because it's losing its power. I wonder if that's what it is. Or is it just the dirt from them bathing in the shit and leaving it?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, why don't they just bottle this shit up?
Exactly. That's what I was a little confused about. It didn't make a lot of sense to me why there was a tub of this goo.
Or is that like their own personal like stash?
I don't know. Unless the only other thing I could think of is like the crazy thing for like Bloody Mary, how she actually became who she is like, she would drain like young women and she would put them in a bathtub because she believed that bathing in the blood actually like kept her skin moistened and youthful looking. And I'm kind of wondering if to them that's the story behind why they kind of have a Ken and Barbie appearance.
Oh yeah.
Because everybody else kind of looks that way, but Blaine almost always in this entire thing looks like a fucking Ken doll. And Anna, except this time where she got fucked up, usually looked like a Barbie doll.
Yeah, like they had like that perfect appearance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really wonder too. I wondered in one scene because it happened to her in another part. If they did any of the eye brightener stuff, like CGI or whatever, over their eyes, because when he's driving in the morning, his eyes look really, really blue, and when she's talking in the hospital room to Art, her eyes look really blue, like they put a thing over to brighten them up.
Interesting.
So I'm wondering if that was also kind of part of the story for the characters as well. They have like these freakishly blue eyes. Not yet. Everybody write. I almost said write your Congress.
Write your congressman.
Write your congressman for the new Boroughs to come out. Definitely not. But yeah, I mean, we get that whole little thing. We have that. She tells Blaine basically like she got hurt, which again, if you're so like upset about losing into this stuff, like you said, why don't you bottle it?
Yeah.
And again, why are you getting into it and letting it run off the side
they
of the
both got into it.
Yeah, he climbed in after her, but then it overfilled.
And he's like, I'm gonna do everything I can to fix you.
And I'm like, if you're trying to save any of this shit, why are you climbing over?
He's gonna be licking it up off the floor like an alcoholic.
Oh my gosh, I could see that. I could definitely see that shit. It's our excrement. That's what this whole thing is.
Yeah.
It mixed with a little bit of the stuff. I don't know. I mean, it could almost be just the color of it, like from that top shot when he lays her into it. I'm like, that shit looks nasty. But we have this other thing too, where at the end of last episode, at least for Paz's part of the story, Paz had found out where this little place was underneath the main hub.
He got caught.
Of where the creatures were at. And he ends up getting caught. And we kind of have this weird chain of events. He gets caught. We have where I can't remember the guard's name.
Keith finds out that that Paz is fucking Renee. And he's like, "Oh, look at you! You got yourself an old lady. That's against protocol." And since he knows about it, like obviously Keith thinks Renee knows about it. So Keith goes to Renee's house to basically kidnap her.
Well, no, Renee did know about it. She sent it to
Oh, that's right.
Paz.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. She did know about it because
Now,
she gets the photo of
here's
Keith.
one here's one question that I have. Unless Paz's ass cheek just somehow scrolled up on the phone, how did Keith start so far up and have to scroll down in the conversation to see the picture of
I
himself?
don't know.
I was like, why do you have to scroll down, bro? If that's like one of the last things, why wouldn't you have seen that
I
first?
don't. I don't know.
But he's like, oh, they found this thing out. They're on to me,
Yeah.
you know. Um,
So he goes to
which like,
kidnap Renee and like chokes her out basically.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Which before he starts going on Paz's phone, he does have a conversation with Blaine, and he's trying to negotiate. Hey, I need some more of the stuff. The same little bottle or the same big bottle we see that Blaine uses in his drinks and stuff. Keith has one that's in like a little bitty shot glass bottle
yeah,
thingy.
it's like they're rationing out everything.
Yeah, and that's like his daily thing that he gets,
Yeah.
supposedly. So I think it gives them enough for them to stay youthful or to not age at their like current time. But the amount that Blaine and Anna are drinking keeps them also youthful and young.
Yeah,
If that makes
it's
sense.
like the others stopped aging when they started drinking it. But it
Yeah,
seems like
yeah,
Keith and Anna, or sorry, Blaine and Anna have to keep up that appearance of being younger, so they get more of like the lion's share.
yeah. Which, and I wonder if the amount is how past you are, how many years past you are what you were when you started drinking it.
Hmm.
Because if that's true, and the reason why Blaine and Anna are drinking such big quantities would make sense why everybody else has the little tiny doses, because they're all a lot younger than what they
Yeah,
would be considered.
yeah.
Uh,
But it's interesting. Like so, like what Keith does is he drinks it and he feels better, obviously, because he wants more. He wants more, and he wants to be younger, I guess. But he takes Paz and Renee out to the desert in Renee's car and
yeah,
tries to basically suffocate him with carbon dioxide,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
which doesn't go over so well
Nope. And
because
they end up getting out, getting him stuck in the car.
yeah, she Renee ends up getting a hold of of the taser, which I like this whole scene. This whole scene was very well done.
Oh
It,
yeah, especially for him, where like you see as he just kind of gets drug
he
along
kind of just
and
killed
fucked up.
himself.
Yeah, yeah. Um, you have all that crazy shit happen, which this is the fun part, I think, for this, where they're both like, oh, I guess we're gonna have to walk back, and they start walking up as Art's truck comes up, and it's like, hey
Hey guys,
guys,
how's it
what are you
going?
doing out here?
What's up?
Oh, nothing, yeah,
Yeah, Paz is still handcuffed, I think, at that moment. Like he couldn't get his
yeah,
handcuffs off.
yeah. Which then they go to a little diner. They talk about what they need. They don't want to go back. They know too much. They need to get out of there.
I like
Um,
it when the lady comes up and she's like, "You got to order something," and, and
and they're like, "Well, we'll order in a second. Can we have 6 waters? You gotta order something. We'll have 6 fries."
and then Wally's like, "Oh, that's sodium. Oh, that,
Yeah,
oh,
Wally, that's so much
oh,"
sodium. Renee,
and she's like, "You don't have to eat it. Just come on."
yeah. Um, but they're all trying to figure out different stuff with that. Oh, there was one thing I wanted to touch on in the tunnels. So we did have where Sam saw a puzzle piece, and so that was one of his delusions he had. But we also had a thing, and I think this is after watching this a second time too, knowing that the image that he's getting of his wife, his mother,
Yeah.
um, makes sense now how the spirit acted towards the kid,
Oh.
because it kind of looked like it was grieving and it was pointing at it and it was like yelling and stuff like that. And I was like, it makes sense that that's the way that this thing,
Yeah.
you know, because it was kind of like, well, why would she be acting that way? She never went to the Boroughs and knew about these
That
things.
is true.
So that was kind of another cool little tidbit. But then we had like that spot where we were talking about where Blaine puts Anna in the tub and all that. He finds out and basically he says, you know what, I'm going to take care of this. I'm sure like off screen it was like, well, who did it? And they all walk out to leave this bar restaurant thing, and all these vans start pulling up for them to get into to go back to
Yeah.
the Boroughs.
Yeah. It's
And that's where it
it's a
ends.
pretty like intense scene, I feel like you think like our heroes basically got one up on everybody, but like nope, they don't. Like they're in the lion's den at this moment and like they're about to get fucked over.
Yeah, yeah.
We're on the Empire Strikes Back part of this series right now.
Yeah,
The
we
dark
are.
side has infiltrated everything.
Yeah, it has.
But yeah, I mean, this is a fun episode, I have to say. Um,
I think for me, this is probably the episode I would say, like, this is my favorite episode out of the season so far.
I mean, it was solid. It was a solid episode. It still leaves us with like questions, so many questions. But it's probably the episode that feels the most like Stranger Things, I would say.
Yeah.
The with the band getting together and hunting the monster and stuff.
And then all kind of coming back together.
Yeah, but I like the twists and turns that they have throughout this episode are pretty well put together, I feel like.
Yeah.
And like all are it's like it was a very well paced episode. It was funny. It was like had action in it. Like it it brings up so many questions I still don't have answers for.
Yeah, this is true. This is very true. It also makes me think, like, what is this group of people's like stuff with, like, what if we were going to give all of them like the identity of a character in Stranger Things, like, who would they be?
Yeah.
You know, because right now, like, I feel like Judy and Wally almost have, it's more passive, but I feel like they're almost like Lucas and Dustin. You have that thing where it's, oh, we could do this. This is smart, and it's like, no, we're not going to do that. They're butting heads over it, even though you know that at the end of the day they're going to be friends.
Yeah.
While like Renee and Paz to me are almost like Lucas and Max's relationship.
Yeah.
You know,
It's I like it that everything's coming together at this moment because
yeah, yeah.
everything it felt kind of separate after before this
Oh,
episode.
we forgot to touch on one other thing
What?
where Blaine said, I'm going to handle the stuff with Sam because that was one of the bargaining chips that Keith tried to bring up.
Oh yeah,
And he goes, I'm already handling it. He goes, I've gotten a hold of his daughter. And his daughter is at the facility, and Blaine starts trying to sell her on having Sam move to the manor, which is where we had seen, what's his face?
Edward.
Edward, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
and Blaine basically just gaslights her like the entire time they're together.
Well, and the weird thing is, I don't know if he gaslights her except on the part with Sam, because like he does use, that's the weird thing with Blaine. He does use truth to get the point across, which throws me off. Like, it's not blatant lying. It's bending the truth to where it seems like all of it's the truth.
Yeah,
Because he talks about Charlie, which he'll be relevant later on, and we have seen him once, where Charlie is this old guy that sits on the bench in the middle of the facility, waiting for his friend. He worked. He rode the bus with his friend like every day for years. He passed away, and when he got old, his family tried taking care of him, and he would ask about all this stuff, and he was like, it was a living hell for him. Like his family had to tell him every day that Charlie was dead, and he had to relive that stuff every day. And then one day he ended up getting out like he was a dog that got out of the fence,
Yeah.
trying to find a bus stop to sit at, and like, so they couldn't handle him. And then he's like, well, that's why we have this. So every day he can sit there and wait on his friend and see if he arrives, like all
Yeah.
this other shit like that.
Yeah.
So he does, it's almost like making a bread. He folds so much truth into it that by the time you think like you're eating something that's like a sweet bread, like maybe like a cinnamon roll, you've already taken too many bites or whatever to realize that instead of him using sugar, he used salt.
I
Like
like it
that's,
that latte granny came back. her
oh
her
yeah,
frappuccino granny.
I can't wait till we see her in like future episodes because she's always fun.
Yeah, no.
She's always fun. I love that.
But yeah, Jen, where can they find you at?
Well, I had one more
Okay.
question. You said that you had a question earlier. Did
Oh,
we cover what you were gonna ask?
I forgot what I was gonna ask, to be honest.
I was like, all right, Mike's got a question. He hasn't brought it up
I
yet. I'm gonna
forgot.
ask you
I
at the
forgot
end.
what I was gonna ask.
Well, it was right before we were talking about the black liquid when Anna threw up, and I thought that's what it was going to be about. And then, like, you started going a different direction. I was like, maybe it's a different
No, I
thing.
forgot. I totally forgot what I was gonna say.
Um, but yeah, I mean, guys, like, if you haven't watched the Boroughs, for sure, watch it. Like I said, uh, I would also say you could write, I guess, the Duffers or somebody, put out that we would like more episodes. If not, we
And your
will get Stranger
congressman
Things
or woman.
and your congressman. Write your congressman about a lot of shit, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Like they need some help, okay? Because the world's
right.
shit right now.
They need some direction. um, but yeah, I mean, do that. Stick around with us for other shows that we are covering. I'm sure after this, we have King of the Hill coming up on the docket.
Yeah.
We have some other ones, as well as going back and covering the rest of Tales of 85 Stranger Things for all you guys, and a few other things that we have. Obviously, Spirited Away, because somebody has never fucking seen it.
I
Uh,
mean, King of the Hill is coming up fast. A few weeks.
it's
I'm
true.
curious
It's
if
true.
we'll get done with the Boroughs before the first episode of King of the Hill drops.
What are we on, 5?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think
I'm gonna
so.
be honest. I kind of want to call an audible and just cover that first episode of King of the Hill.
I mean, we may do that. The reason why we start covering the Boroughs, guys, is really because we knew it was more fresh than Tales of 85, and that we could go back to Tales of 85 because it'll still be relevant. Versus the Boroughs, and then something happens, so
Yeah.
its time is limited. But yeah, I mean, stick around for a lot of other stuff that we enjoy covering and whatnot, as well as some extra little shows maybe that we'll throw in there at some point. If you watch us on Friday, I believe they're still coming out, right?
They
For
haven't come out
possibilities
in a
and all that.
while ever since people attacked us for using AI.
Okay, okay. Um, that's okay. We're trying to AI shame Otaku Mike until he starts getting his writing fingers or his artist fingers back. Um, which could happen, could not, guys. Write to your local Otaku Mike, and he may be able to do some art. But yeah, guys, stay tuned. Also, let us know any other things that you think we should cover. Obviously, besides King of the Hill and stuff like that, because we love those. We'll cover them anyway. But is there something else that you guys would like us to cover? Also, am I taking all your stuff too? Rate and
Sure.
review the podcast where all podcast platforms are under Otakuology or the Otakuology. You can find me at Bart's Tavern on Instagram slash shit
Manga,
slash almost on YouTube.
manga restart.
Then you can also find me at Manga Restart on Instagram slash YouTube. That needs to be updated, but it will get there, guys. As well as you can find me here soon when I start getting to actually get into voice acting, because I got a setup for that now. So that's a cool experience that I get. And also everywhere where Otakuology is. You can also find Mike everywhere where Otakuology is. You can also find Mike at the Otaku Mike or Otaku Mike in most places, either on Instagram, YouTube, a lot of the other ones. I don't think they can look you up under the Otaku Mike in Texas. That'd be kind of cool / weird, but
No.
but yeah, I mean, so we had a really fun time covering this. We will catch you guys later. Thanks for being such big supporters and listening. Every little help, listen, reshare, whatever helps us to get the podcast out there. You guys are amazing. Keep coming around and listening,
Yeah.
and we'll catch you later.
See you next
Mike,
Tuesday.
anything else to say? You took my lines, you bastard. See you next Tuesday.